Guys, it is 6:30 p.m. in West Palm Beach right now in Florida. Already, we're getting hit by hard winds, hard water, and this is just tropical storm. Like, this is not even what we're supposed to be getting. Like, this is nothing compared to what we're supposed to be getting. It's not drivable weather. Like, right now, you can't drive in this, and I guarantee certain areas are already flooding. Miami's getting it really hard right now. They're getting hit really hard. And like I said, this is not the actual storm. This is literally like before the storm. The real reason why I'm making this video is to warn everyone on a message I just got. I just got an emergency alert. As you guys can see here, if you can see that, it says tornado warning. I got a tornado warning in this area for the next 35 to 40 minutes. This is actually scary, so I'm warning everyone right now that there may be a tornado in your area. I don't know which area of you guys are located in Florida. I guess tornadoes are in Florida right now, and that's scary, dude. Like, what? Tornadoes? Are you serious? Like, are you freaking serious? This is just a tropical storm. I can't imagine how it's gonna be when the actual hurricane hits. I hope you guys stay safe out there. Make sure you're inside, indoors. Make sure you're in a certain area that's pretty safe. Right now, the sky's not that bad. It's been getting really, really windy and raining a lot. I'm expecting it to get worse, guys. I mean, I slept pretty much through this whole thing last night, and I went to the beach last night, and it was actually really windy. Like, I can't lie. It was pretty freaking windy over by the beach. This palm tree is literally already bent by the wind. I'm worried about my house here because I got 2 trees right here, and then the other guy has these really big palm trees. I'm worried about those falling down and wrecking someone's car. Guys, be safe out there. This is a warning to everybody. There's a tornado warning in Florida right now. I don't know which area. If you guys are getting the same message I got, let me know. We're gonna be sticking it out, guys. We got water, we got food. This Savage, dude, I'm here with this Savage. So we're just having a party here, guys. You know what I'm saying? We're stocked up on bread. Guys, you need to have bread, peanut butter and jelly, and you need to have some ham sandwiches ready. This is gonna be one crazy storm, and like I did say, I am gonna be live streaming this whole entire thing throughout this whole entire storm. I'm gonna be live on YouTube. Well, I'm gonna try to go live on my phone and make sure I record as much as possible. I hope you guys are ready for this storm. Be prepared, be safe, guys. I'll see you guys later.
Here's your Saturday afternoon Hurricane Irma update. The storm has winds of 125 miles an hour. It's been moving right along the coast of Cuba since last night. That's why the winds are not as strong as they were yesterday. And the hurricane force winds still extend out about 70 miles from the eye of the storm. It's moving westward now at 9 miles an hour, but the motion is going to change. Now, the tropical storm force winds are going out now to South Florida. So here are the steady winds. And still not a lot of data. Missing reports from the coast of Cuba because it was hit hard by a hurricane last night. In Miami, your winds steady over 20, Key West steady over 30, but you have wind gusts that are only going to get stronger as this system moves toward the north. Computer model projections, not a big change from the last couple of days, but it looks like the west coast of Florida is more likely to see the center of the storm, which is not to say the east coast won't get an impact. You are going to get an impact, and then as the storm weakens in the next several days, it goes through Georgia, northern Alabama, and into western Tennessee. Some of you online may notice other computer tracks like this. If you look closely, it says CLP5. It turns out that that's actually not a forecast. That is an average. We call it climatology. So in other words, something like this says, in September, this time of the year, where would the average hurricane go that's sitting where that one's sitting? So this is not a forecast, that is just an average. And a lot of times you see things online that are not fully what they seem to be, not because someone's trying to fool you, it's just because it's not what you expect it to be. Here's the forecast cone. 140 mile an hour winds likely tomorrow morning. Now keep in mind, the forecast track is a little easier to get, even though you can't be perfect with it. But those winds, it could be 150, it could be 130, and it could be even a little bit higher or lower than those. But the Florida Keys look like they will get a direct eye wall passing over from Hurricane Irma in the morning before the sun comes up. Now, these are central time zone numbers. Nonetheless, Fort Myers and then Sarasota still during the day tomorrow. Winds easily 140 miles an hour for the west coast and central Florida, continuing northward across Tampa. By Monday morning, winds about 115. So again, projected wind speed, but you have to say plus or minus 20, sometimes even 30 miles an hour in the worst case, because you can't be certain. If the storm stays out over the Gulf of Mexico, it may stay stronger longer. If it travels a little more to the east in this cone, the winds could diminish faster. So there are still pluses and minuses and still mystery. From Monday to Tuesday, Look at the big change in projected wind speed. 115 miles an hour Monday morning. By Tuesday morning, about 30 miles an hour. So well below tropical storm force once it moves through Georgia into northern Alabama, Tennessee, southern Illinois. This is what hurricanes do. They are a natural part of the earth trying to move moisture, trying to move heat, and trying to balance it all out. The problem is we are all in front of it. That's why you get these hurricane warnings. Basically for the entire Florida Peninsula and the Bahamas, those locations will feel hurricane force winds, winds over 75 miles an hour. There's also a storm surge warning, and this is the other part of the storm you may not focus on. Regardless of where it goes, whether it's right on the west coast, central Florida, or even east coast, the winds are going to be blowing toward the land. Ahead of it, they'll be blowing to the east. Behind it, they'll be blowing to the west. That pushes water against the coast onshore and creates storm surge. And then you have to add in the rain. The rain falls, and if it's too much at once, you get flooding. So there's a flash flood watch for most of central Florida. These other counties may be added later. It all depends on where the rain bands will set up. And now for South Florida, you have a tornado watch. This is what hurricanes do. And part of the reason why you have the tornado watch already, even though the hurricane is well to your south, you have these feeder bands, the bands of rain and thunderstorms that move onshore. And when they do, they can create quick spin-ups and, of course, isolated tornadoes ahead of the storm, during the storm, and with the storm. So on the latest radar is located in Key West, so it doesn't show the full storm on the other side. It can't see that far out, but it's very clear to see the eye moving right along the coast of Cuba, wobbling a little bit back and forth. It is going to make that turn. A lot of people can't see how that's possible. I'll show you in a little bit. But in this forecast model, sometime tonight, tomorrow, it begins to make the turn. There is no clock time you can expect it to happen. To your eye, you won't notice it, but gradually it will happen. This is Sunday morning, 7:30 a.m. Florida Keys, look at the wind circulation counterclockwise. So again, the east coast of Florida, all during the day Sunday, gets that wind blowing onshore. The feeder bands coming in from the Atlantic Ocean. The west coast of Florida, to start off with, you have an offshore wind, which is good ahead of the storm. But in the forecast, as you look at this one computer model, taking it toward Tampa, taking it toward Sarasota, in the late day on Sunday, the west coast of Florida starts to get that south wind. So that's going to push water onshore. Feeder bands, they will circulate, go into the storm. And again, that eye wall, even though the computer projects it here, it could easily be over here. So don't let your guard down if you're on the east coast of Florida. It continues to move northward on Monday into Georgia and then slowly weakening. The more land it's over, the less water source it has to keep it running as a hurricane, and that's why the wind should diminish. Now, for my area, the News 5 area of Mobile, northeast wind for tomorrow, breezy in the Panhandle. It'll be 25 to 35 miles an hour. On Monday, likely the same story, and then picking up some rain, but not too extreme. Most of it should bypass the Mobile, Pensacola area. What about Jose? Well, here's good news. Finally, two bits of good news. Katia is done. Hurricane Jose is passing just north of those islands of the Caribbean. So this is a really good thing because that's a Category 4. It's powerful, heading to the northwest. It'll linger in the open Atlantic for a few days. So finally, the last thing to leave you with, why is this going to turn? Well, these clouds are in a region of low pressure. Ahead of it, high pressure. Behind it, high pressure. Low pressure likes to follow low pressure. But if you actually look at the winds, you'll note the winds coming out of the northwest across the southeastern U.S. So basically, it's going to hit wind that will eventually slow it and then turn it. For a while, it'll follow that trough of low pressure, but all of that's also going to shift in the next couple of days. So again, it's going to turn. I can't tell you exactly what time, how fast, how strong it will be when it happens, but that's what the scenario is going to be with Hurricane Irma. And then Jose, again, no issue for any islands in the near term. That's your update. Wherever you are, keep up with your local forecast, your local National Weather Service, your local broadcasters, whoever you trust, and most importantly, have a plan and stay safe. I'm Chief Meteorologist Alan Seals.
It already here, you can just from a radar perspective see that it's kind of a big storm, and now you can see the influence up there through central Florida as well with what's going on there. Okay, the heaviest weather right now coming onto Miami Beach into the upper Keys. We had a shower over the lower Keys, and that is moving on out. Some of the winds, they're starting to blow a little bit harder, and even though I've got Deerfield Beach here, which is a higher elevation wind instrument, so that kind of gives us a sense of the winds higher up above the ground and the friction of the ground. The higher winds up here will give us a sense of the kind of the gusts that we will see down